Good morning. A pleasure to have your company here on The Form, where we're doing another deep dive into the feature races this weekend, including, of course, the Group 2 James and Annie Sarten Memorial that's been moved to Tauranga. And as I say, good morning to you. That'll make it interesting, I suppose, as we lead to the Guineas.
Yeah, obviously the same thing happened last year when Te Rapa, the horse slipped over. It's probably, it still gives them 2 weeks, those boys, to the 2,000 Guineas. So, look, it's not a major sort of hassle, but look, it's a very good field, and the only thing I would say, Tauranga might not suit a lot of these horses going right-handed. Okay, well, I've got our usual crew in as well. Bevan Sweeney joining us from Wellington, and of course, it is Melbourne Cup week as well. Aidan, as I say, hello to you. Really revving up their big weekend ahead, of course, with the Derby on Saturday.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Derby day. Pip, hi to you and to the boys as well. Yeah, we've got a gorgeous day here in Melbourne this morning. Come out to Flemington where the sun is beating down. They're telling us 24 degrees today. Although there's a little bit of rain in the forecast tomorrow. Should be nigh on perfect track for Derby day. However, there's a fair bit of rain coming for Tuesday, so Cup day might not be quite so good. And we have had that news come through, confirmed this morning. Mark Twain out of the Melbourne Cup after running a disappointing race in yesterday's Bendigo Cup.
Yeah, really unfortunate there. And if we get that rain, Sweens, as I say, good morning to you as well. Looking forward to the Fielding Cup out of Tauherenikau this weekend.
Yeah, it's a bit of a case of musical chairs at the moment with the Sarten where it is, and this meeting was supposed to be at Awapuni on Saturday. It's a bonus for me. I just have to go 10 minutes down the road to the beautiful Tauherenikau, but it was extremely not distressing, but annoying news that they put a further hold on that Awapuni track after an incident track work the other morning. So I'm still scratching my head around that. But looking forward to a good meeting out of Tauherenikau.
Yeah, we certainly are. So let's have a look what is coming up on The Form today. And we'll be starting with that feature out of Tauranga, the Group 2 James and Annie Sarten Memorial. Also taking a look at the opens on the undercard there. As mentioned, we've got the Fielding Cup to look forward to out of Tauherenikau, as well as taking a look at another key race on their program. And then we'll be touching on our usual segments. And of course, as we mentioned, that big day at Flemington this weekend, having a look at the 3 Group 1s. For now, though, let's start with our domestic feature and concentrate in on the Group 2 out of Tauranga. Leith, weather and track-wise, are we getting better this time?
Yeah, it certainly looks like it's going to be a nice fine week from now to Saturday, Pip. You get temperatures are up to sort of 20 degrees in the afternoon. Look, the rails are currently at the true position, so it's going to be a bonus. Look, obviously there's been a bit of rain. The last 7 days I've had 28.5 mils. So, look, soft 7 at the moment on Thursday morning. Hopefully we get back to a sort of maybe a soft 5 by Saturday. Yeah,
let's hope Mother Nature can play her part as we take a look at the market now for the race. He Who Dares, a favourite at $3 from Quando at $5.50, Swiss Prince at $7.50, Landlock and Magic Carpet. So again, I think it's a really nice betting affair here, Bevan.
Well, He Who Dares might even be a little bit shorter than the $3 price. Quando's lightly raced. Swiss Prince was a very good winner at Ellerslie at its most recent effort. Landlock, well, probably the most well-performed in the race at $8.50. We haven't seen the best of him yet. And then horses like Sweet to Cap It All have good ability. But he deserves to be favourite, He Who Dares. And his big advantage, Leith, is that he can get away from the gates from a nice draw and he'll put himself right in the mix early.
It looks like a nice sort of even tempo as well. Too Sweet finally gets a gate from barrier 6. Tauranga's probably going to suit her. 2 done Sweets in 2 races. Faultless is from the outside will go forward. So it leaves horses like Magic Carpet, Quando, Swiss Prince, He Who Dares, a nice run just in behind it. Looks like a genuine tempo.
Okay, well, 3 of those runners are from Stephen Marsh's barn, and BP did catch up with him and just asked him firstly about Magic Carpet.
Yeah, he's done nothing wrong since. Obviously went to go round on Monday on the Sarten. Look, it hasn't worried him. He's got up nicely this morning and he's all set to go. And looks like the track will be an improving track, so should suit.
What about Swiss Prince? Of course, a very good maiden win and built to that win nicely.
Yeah, he's a horse that we've put on the deep end a little bit. He keeps on delivering. It's never easy for them to sort of lead at Ellerslie. He got very lost, but fought off a really nice, strong field. He deserves a crack, and yeah, I could certainly see him getting down to the 2,000 guineas.
And then the chances of Te Cap It All. What have you made of her preparation so far as a 3-year-old?
Yeah, been in a little bit of an interrupted preparation, to be honest. Her bloods were out early on. missed a sort of a couple of key races. Never really intended on being here at the Sarten. And it probably affects our chance of getting to the 1,000 guineas. It gives us a 1 week backup, but she is nominated for the 2,000 guineas as well. And look, if she can really put her hand up, we're certainly not going to rule out the 1,000 guineas, but probably more logical going to the 2,000. But I think she'll really appreciate the better track on Saturday, and she can certainly bounce back.
Okay, so watch the space around Capital as we take you back to the Hawke's Bay Guineas here, the Group 2, and obviously a very good performance from the Stephen Marsh runner, Magic Carpet Leith, and just ridden beautifully. Jonathan suited him.
Yeah, look, Jonathan really suits this horse. He's obviously a colt by Santino Aladdin. Look, he's got a nice gait, barrier 4. He can posse just from behind the speed again. Looks like he's going to be nice tempo, faultless, and like I said, probably he certainly. He looks like he's on the upwards, this horse as well.
Really nice win that day too, wasn't it? And obviously pretty handy runs from the next couple home. Quando was pretty good, and there's upside around Faultless, and like you say, it does have good tactical speed. I don't think Tauherenikau is too much of an issue. It's the one of the key form lines leading in. Take nothing away from what Magic Carpet's been doing, but yeah, second and third were both pretty good as well, Bevan.
Yeah, I just think they look really raw to me, both of those horses in the finish. Jonathan was just strengthening that horse through the line, wasn't he? Big horse, pretty raw, not overly balanced in that track condition, but all about Jay Riddell in the saddle got it home. And Quando didn't have much of a trip. Joe Doyle's gone with the Marsh runner. That sees Craig Rules go back on post his winning performance on Quando. Quando should get a perfect run. Whether he's really looking for the improving track conditions might be a slight question mark with his action for me. But what he did against Magic Carpet, I think actually makes it a very even sort of mix between those two horses. Faultless will certainly put himself somewhere there on speed.
Okay, well, let's actually hear from Joe Walker around Quando. BP caught up with him and other connections who come out of that race.
He's really well. I thought obviously his last run a little while ago now was super. I thought he was very tough. Caught out on a limb, no cover in the race. He's very tough to the line. He's trained on well since then. Monday probably would have been ideal, obviously with a little bit of rain around, but I think, to prove you're up to going a mile at Riccarton, probably a better track on Saturday, I think, obviously you need to prove you can handle that sort of ground to get down there.
And what about Virgo Viva? She was very good late, obviously, at her first up to the races, so rolling the dice to see if you see, where things sit with her.
Absolutely, yeah, it was a super win. Very good win on debut. And yeah, absolutely, is a little bit of a roll of the dice, but we think she's a pretty smart filly, and she deserves a chance this weekend, and then I'm sure she'll let us know either way.
Yeah, he was going into the other day very well, and he had a good draw, and just hopefully the rain stays away for Saturday, and he should be spot on.
Yeah, look, I just wanted to avoid Te Rapa. Just needed to get him back on track, and I wasn't sure if, obviously didn't really cop the wet track, but I just didn't want to, leave that to chance again. We just wanted to get his preparation back on track, and looks like a nice opportunity. He's a better horse right-handed as well, so I think it's probably not the worst option now.
Yeah, there's a few ticks in Landlock's corner there too, if we can get those right track conditions, Lee.
Yeah, it's probably a forgive run last start. Obviously the shuttle road goes on him this week as well, and maybe Tauranga might suit him, but being back right-handed as well.
Okay. Well, from there, we're going to get you back now to Reece Trumper. We're going to have a look at He Who Dares, of course, was very good in the Sir Colin Meads, and BP asked him how he's done since.
Yeah, really well. Obviously, he's going about a good 6 weeks between races, but he's a horse that's naturally pretty fit. His work's been good. It was good probably for him to have that day at the races on Monday just to have a think about things, have a sweat and a shake. His work on Wednesday morning was top-notch. Opie was very pleased with him. So we're heading in full of confidence, and a bit of juice in the track certainly won't hurt him.
And here is his performance. And look, it was really good, Leith. Once Craig got him away from the rail, he's hit the line well. Yeah,
look, he was a touch unlucky. Obviously, affirmative action was he won this race. He's racing this Tuesday, Melbourne Cup Day, in the 3-year-old set weights and penalties. So, look, we haven't seen him for a while. He's had an exhibition gallop. I think the track at Tauranga will really suit this horse. And he looks better going right-handed than he does left-handed as well.
Really good to hear that from Reese, to say that the horse has bounced through the first run, that they were happy with him leading into Monday's race before obviously we lost that meeting, and then Opie Boston giving this horse the tick of approval leading in. I agree with Bevan. I thought the $3 was actually fairly generous around He Who Dares. Be interesting to know which race Landlocked goes to. I'm not too sure if you guys have got any intel there, but he was pretty good that day. Rain affected track last time out when he sort of had a stilted build up into it. I think Landlocked is a key improver going into whichever race he goes to. I thought he was probably better placed in the early race, get an easy kill, but He Who Dares on top for me, but a real respect around Landlocked, Bevan.
I've got massive respect. I thought he was He Who Dares' match in that particular race, and then there might have been a slight little knock around the horse going into Te Rapa. They had a heavy track condition. Look, he's got the best form in a race, in my mind, in many ways, Landlocked. So in the market at the moment, he's $8.50 against He Who Dares. If the real Landlocked turns up, third up, draw will be interesting exactly what they do from there. His $8.50 might look an absolute present post the race, but he is, as Aidan mentioned, nominated in a couple of races. I'm not quite sure where he's going, but I might just flick Cody a text now and see where he is.
Yeah, fair enough. So is he the one that you'll be going for on top in that race, Sweens, or are you leading elsewhere?
I went with Quando because I've been with Quando through his first two starts, his debut, and into that last start performance. I thought he was three wide the trip. Well, he was three wide the trip. And I think it was a crazily good performance to hang in there. He's got a nice draw to get a nice sit in behind them. Right on speed. Grills is back on post his win. Fresh up. So I was happy enough to stick with Quando, but I don't think there's a lot between Landlocked, He Who Dares, Magic Carpet and Quando in my mind at this point.
Yeah, it's a strong edition of the race. Look, I'm going He Who Dares just on top. Kygo Star's a good horse from Barrier 1. He's going to get all chances. Magic Carpet and obviously Swiss Prince was super last start. So strong field, but just He Who Dares on top.
Yeah, there's a bit of depth to there, isn't there? And I was the same with you, Lise. I was with He Who Dares. I thought Sweens would have been too. When he's saying $3 might have been a bit more generous than what he's thinking, still the favourite. But yeah, I thought there was enough in that first up run, natural improvement, gets the tick of approval from Opie Boston. So yeah, covers all bases for mine.
Okay, that's what the guys are liking in the feature, the Group 2. As we now move on to race number 7, this is the Open. Over the 1,300 metres here, Glamour Tycoon favourite for Stephen Marsh at $3. Then you're getting out to Mary Shan at $6, USA Dorsey at $8, along with Moss Invader. Have they got this market right, Swings?
Yeah, look, I think they've got this right around the draw, and the horse has gone nice. He gets a nice sit just behind them. But Mary Shannon on proof, didn't handle the wet track conditions. Moss Invader's a really interesting runner into this, and the best of Wild Knight or Herbert or Frostfear could possibly get right into this leaf.
Yeah, certainly. Look, the race maps to be enough speed in the race. Glamour Tycoon from the inside jaw, probably the natural leader. USA Dorsey will go forward. Mary Shan will be there. Dusty Road. Frostfear hasn't been jumping out the best out of the gate, so she's going to get back. So will Moss Invader, and Moving Melody should go forward as well.
Okay, well, let's take you back to the key lead-in race here, and it is the Swaney Stakes out of Rotorua, where we see Glamour Tycoon beating the likes of Gospodin here. And I thought she was really brave second up to hang on where she did.
She was really good. Obviously, she comes into this race third up. She's going to be super fit. Look, this is a strong effort, well-timed ride by Vinny on Twain as well. So the best thing about Glamour Tycoon, she never runs a bad race. She sits on speed. She's always she puts herself in the right spot to be a winning chance every time she runs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's high class. Third up, she should be improved out of that as well. Gospodin comes in okay at the weights, isn't what? I think it's a 5 kilogram swing, or maybe it's a 3 kilogram swing that Gospodin comes in. So home track advantage for Gospodin now. There's a little bit of upside there as well. But yeah, real respect around Glamour Tycoon, her ability and what she's been doing.
Okay, Landlocked goes in the Sarten for sure. That coming from Cody. The only horse I won out of that race is Glamour Tycoon, myself personally, especially with the draw and what she has done in the first couple of starts. If they jump right positively, I think she gets the trail. She'll be very, very difficult to beat from there, Pip.
Okay, well, let's hear from her trainer and see what he thinks. Here's Stephen Marsh. He caught up with BP, just asked how the preparation has been since that race.
Yeah, she's really come back really good this time, and she has great all preparation last campaign. She looks a better horse this time, good track will suit. She can get a nice soft gate. She's got to carry 58.5, but really like her chances, and I think she's going to be in some of the big sprint races this time in.
Really good. Yep, for sure that race didn't sort of work out. She sort of found herself in front. And she has won on rain-affected going, but that was sort of in lesser grade, and there was some pretty seasoned, hard and wet track horses in that. But she's come through it really well.
Yeah, no, real well. Missed out last weekend, so I carried on to Tauranga. Nah, he's doing real well, yeah.
He's had a good preparation, obviously a long prep through that winter campaign, but to your eye and how he's feeling, everyone's believing that he's still in a good spot to be competitive over the weekend?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's just bouncing around and jumping out of his skin, yeah.
Yeah, we're really pleased with him. His work's been really good. Obviously, Taupo wouldn't be his sort of track. He's a big striding sort of horse, but gets back to Tauranga where he's raced well in the past, won this race 12 months ago, and he looks exactly the same as he did then. So we're expecting a really big effort from him.
We're expecting a pretty good performance. He's trialled well. His work this morning here, Emily Farr rode him, and he really worked up super. So whilst it's a strong lot, and he sort of gets in with quite a light weight, if he gets the right sort of run, we certainly think he's going to be very competitive.
There goes a couple of trainers a bit positive there, Leith, including Reece Trumper. Are you liking a Wild Night in this, or maybe
Wild
Glamour?
Night, he likes to track there, Pip. He's got 60 kilos. Moss Invader's a really up and promising horse. He'll be hitting the line late, but I've just got Glamour Tycoon from the draw. I know she's got 58.5 kilos, but she should be going close to winning on Saturday.
Yeah, unbeaten in her only start there at Tauranga as well. I was taken by what we saw from Wild Night first up. I thought it was a run that had real merit. I know you're going up in weight, but then you're getting Opie Boston on the senior. And we'd seen this horse in a couple of exhibition gallops, on his best exhibition gallop. I thought he'd be really competitive here. The main thing that we're seeing from him is he's coming up like the Wild Night of old. I think he's a big contender. He's on top for me.
Well, I agree. If it's the Wild Night of old, then this race might be his to take. Just a question mark in my mind whether he is the horse of old. I am going to stick with the Glamour Tycoon just off the map. I think the map is perfect. I think the first two runs have been great behind a couple of real talents. So if Glamour Tycoon gets the trip I think she should get, then she's tough to beat.
Yep, totally agree there as we move from the open sprint now to the open staying race over the 2100 metres. The ninth on the program, very open market-wise. You can see that GG at $5 solidifies at that quote. Then you're getting out to Rosetown Princess, and the first runner we want to highlight here, and that is the Prophet, who's moved in the market to $8.50 into $6.50. And I know, Sweens, you were really keen on the runner too after this eye-catching fourth.
They think it must have been on the drink when they put up $8.50. Look, this horse was really unlucky in this race and was really unlucky in his previous performance, and that was fresh up. This is going to be a really good form race. Atmospheric's going really well, and the winner's a nice horse. So he gets up over ground in this particular race. I saw him at Trentham win over ground. He absolutely cleaned them up. If he gets any sort of crack at them, the $8.50 is going to look like a present to you all at home.
Yeah, obviously Bevan's on at $8.50, Pip. Look, that's a really good form race, atmospheric, and there's a few others in that race you want to be watching. Zormella was very unlucky as well. So, look, he is third up, his first time over ground. I know Cody's pretty happy with him. Look, with 54 kilos, I've definitely got him on top, Pip.
You just got to like him. Sorry, Leith, I'll just duck in there. The last couple of runs have been terrific, and we know the abilities there. 3 of 10. A key form line in is the Watachama race from Rotorua last time out. Watachama scoring by half a length from Gigi. Rosetown Princess making really nice ground down the outer into third this day too. Now, the way that I've taken a line on this is he's only half a length between Watachama and Gigi. Gigi comes in half a kilogram better and now gets to the home track where this horse has had 7 starts, 3 wins, 3 minor placings. Home track advantage is Gigi's. I think it's a real coup into this race. I think Gigi will be very hard to beat on home turf.
Yeah, and certainly the improving track's going to suit Gigi more than it's going to suit Watachama as well. So, like you said, a rider, Barrier 5, loves the course. Jimmy Pender, his horses fly at his home track as well.
Oh, not a lot to add. Your GG home track advantage. What a shame, it was good beating home GG at its most recent performance. But look, Jimmy Penner's got a knack at Tauranga. He's need to get his horses through, and this horse has got a great record there.
And I think as we get selection, Sweens, we'll go back to you. You're with the Prophet?
No, yes, very much with the Prophet, as I think Leith was when he was doing his little spiel. I think the Prophet is a very, very smart horse, up over ground. As long as the track is okay, that would be my one concern. If it's heavy, then I'm probably jumping off as quick as I've got on.
Yeah, I'm backing on a soft 5 track by this time of the day. Perfect barrier 3, at 54 kilos, I've got him on top as well.
Yeah, hard to beat, no question, boys. I've gone with GG. I just love that home track advantage. Love the swing in the weights from last time out. So, yeah, GG for me at home.
Okay, we've got a Quinella either way as we complete our look at the Opens. What about something else we're liking on the program, Leith?
Earlier on, Pip, race 4, I thought Kitty Flash, she was flying at the trials. Obviously, she was supposed to be at Te Rapa the other day as well. Barrier 6, Craig Grill's on. I think she'll be leading at Tauranga and winning race 4.
I'm going to go up against you, Leith. I did like the trial, and obviously she was so good last preparation, Kitty Flash. But, geez, speaking to Chad Ormsby about just how high a regard he holds for Have a Crack, who's gone win-win in the last 2. He thinks this horse could be better than Master Fay. So I've just got to respect Chad. I know how good a horseman, a good judge he is. So I'm going to go Have a Crack and go against you. Maybe it's the boxed exacta, Leith.
Rod, definitely.
No, we're looking forward to that. Race 5. Look, I'm interested in a horse called Lavakia for the Kelsos. Now, it hasn't had a trial, which is interesting, but I've got so much faith in this training partnership. She put 2 together at the end of last preparation. Yes, at the 1,600 metres, but she is placed 2 from 2 at the 12. If she gets any sort of run at them, I think she is really one to follow going forward, Lavakia.
Okay, I like it. So races 4 and 5 for the best of the rest out of Tauranga as we take you to a break. Don't go too far. Tauherenikau is coming up next where we preview the Fielding Cup. You're watching The Form, and before we do concentrate in on our second domestic meeting on Saturday, we found you more Blackbookers. Leith, who's yours?
It was pretty easy finding this one, Pip. I'm going to take you to the Cox Plate last week. Look, it was a good ride by Huey Bowman. What happened was there was a gap there presented. He stayed on the rails, and then he's just been shut out. She's gone to the line untested. She's going to have a little bit of a freshen up. We won't see her for a couple of... She definitely won't be running in the Championships Day. Look, I'm not saying she should have won this race, but she was going to give Via Sistina and Buckaroo. It was going to definitely give Chris Waller a trifecta in the Cox Plate.
Yeah, should have been right there for sure. She was desperately unlucky. Yeah, hopefully we do see her in the autumn in Sydney in some of those top quality races. No knock on her form, Leith. I'm going to take you to last week's Riccarton meeting. Have a look at Cognito. Thought the run was terrific for horse runs. The second quickest last, 8 and 600 in running second over 2,000 metres. He just seems to be going really nicely. I want to be on him next time out. He had to be put into the race. Did like what I saw from Cognito there.
I'm going to take you to the best form race out of Trentham on Saturday. In Coulthard, you can see him just back on the rail there. He got held up for a run for about 100 metres. Wingman's often gone in the same colours. I think this is a really good form race. Canelo's got good ability. Freddie Time comes up the inside, and Coulthard really went to the line without really being tested. Tolstoy's another nice horse. So I think Coulthard in the right race with a decent draw will be winning at his next start.
And I'm taking you back to Ellerslie on Saturday. Sister Sugar, just prior to this, there was only one gap and the winner actually got it. She was just held up a touch there. The winner was past her once she got really going, and she just missed for Sean and Emma Clothworthy back and fresh. I think she'll be a really nice follow off the back of this race. So Sister Sugar for me, and that completes our Blackbookers. Make sure you note them down. There's a few more of them too going around this week, and if you look through the fields, if you've been following our Blackbookers, and that is this week. So from there, we're taking you to Tauherenikau. So Bevan, as you said, that is just down the road from you. What's the weather and track conditions looking like?
Tauherenikau, the place where Leith slaughtered his first ever ride to the races. Look, We had a lot of rain earlier on in the week, and I was so glad that happened. They got 45 mils. Would have been a good four before that. If we hadn't got that rain, we would have had to have had some irrigation, which would have worried me. We won't have to. It's a heavy 8 yesterday. Spoke to Jamie Phillips this morning. He said with no rain in the forecast, he's expecting hopefully the track to be a soft 5 on Saturday.
Okay, looking forward to that. And Lisa, I'm sure plenty do that on their first ride, don't they?
It was an 80-to-1 shot, but anyway, Mr. Ian Shaw, Dr. Ian Shaw. But look, it was a long time ago and good place, Tauherenikau.
Yeah, it certainly is. As we take a look at the Fielding Cup, which is the feature race number 7 on the program. Who knows if Niall Quinn, your favourite at $3.40, Agera at $4, and then we're getting out to the likes of Enrico and Danjuro. What are you thinking about this market, Sweens?
Well, I think with Wolfgang apparently being nominated for the New Zealand Cup late, who knows can go and win this race because it won't get any more weight than it was going to get originally when going down there. Agera's going really nicely. They deserve to be the top 2 in the market. Battle Secret might be a bit of value. Crouch and Danjuro's going nicely enough, Lee.
Yeah, it sets up for a nice, easy tempo for Sailor Jack, I thought, from barrier 4 to be leading. Agera, if Tony Pike's stable, they'll go forward maybe if he jumps out from barrier 7. So it certainly looks like a nice sort of even tempo. Who knows was very well ridden last start. Danjuro will use his draw and Crouch will be just back midfield, and so will Bozo.
Yeah, well, let's have a look here at that very good ride on Who Knows in the Egmont Cup. This is the race we'll highlight. Beats home, obviously, Sacred Pearl and Crouch. Got the conditions to suit, but again, it's just such a good mare.
I wouldn't be worried about on better ground either. They have to be a little bit careful with their legs if it was getting to that good 4, good 3. I think she won despite what the plans were. If she'd been running into a nice 3rd, they would have been happy. But she just grabbed the bridle and said, I'm blowing on by. She's a very, very good mare. And if she runs up to best, she'll be very tough to beat in this race. So she's got all sorts of quality. And look, it is the lead-in, I think, naturally to her New Zealand Cup run. I don't think she'll have another run in between times. Yeah,
look, I love Who Knows. I've still got a bit of a question mark at 2 miles. She can run such a good sectional. She does relax. Look, interesting race this week. Obviously, the 58.5 kilos. She maps to sort of get back behind midfield. And like you said, Bevan, maybe if Wolfgang goes, she can afford to win the race as well.
I don't think she can afford to win it. You can't be seen to be not trying in these lead-up races, and she's become such a versatile horse. She can go forward, she can go back, but she's in great form. It's a real coming-of-age preparation for her, and I think the best is still to come. She's a 6-year-old mare. They've really taken their time, but hasn't Niall Quinn done a super job with her? And I think she's really hard to beat here again this weekend.
I sort of think this race possibly should be penalty-free going into a New Zealand Cup. Is that something, Leith, that they should be looking at? There's a couple of races as you lead down to the New Zealand Cup, especially at this late stage, that might have no penalty going into a New Zealand Cup?
Well, certainly the Metropolitan on the first day is a no penalty into the Cup, and, you know, if this is going to be a lead-up race for the CD horses as well, I think it should be, Bevan. Look, Crouch, he's going well. I think the first up run might have just flattered him a little bit over 1400, and I know Mike Breslin's happy how he is, and Masa Hasazumi goes down this week to ride.
Yeah, well, you want the best there, don't you? So maybe they need to look at that as we take a look at, or firstly, actually, we're going to catch up with Tony Pike. He's got Agera in the race, see how it's been tracking since the Matamata Cup win.
Yeah, he's obviously had a very good season. We were contemplating turning him out after his last run, but obviously the weather continues its pattern of very wet spring. So, look, we've kept him in. Look, 2050 may be a touch of a query, but I think around that tight Tauherenikau track, he should get the trip quite nicely. And obviously, it's a leg of the Country Cup Series, so he's already won one of those. So if he could win again on Saturday, that'd be great.
It certainly would be, and this is his win in the Matamata Cup. Leith, what did you make of it?
Yeah, it was a super run. Obviously, at the 200 metre mark, if you were on him, you'd be throwing your tickets away. Look, he was strong late. He's a funny horse. Sometimes he doesn't jump out the gates as quick as he can. I think in this race over 2,000 metres, he just maps to sort of get a perfect sit outside leader or in the trail.
Super run. He did look beaten, I agree with you, Leith, but there was just something about him. He lifted, he was determined, he wanted to find the line, and it was a really good win. They were looking last week at 1,600 metres, now a week later to 2,000, but you can hear from Tony Pike around that thinking. There's a decent bonus to that Country Cup series, I think Taupo upcoming as well. So Agira with real respect in this market.
Yeah, I think that was career best performance actually from Aguirre at the last start. I thought that was a super run. Had the 54 that day, has to carry the 60 on Saturday, which will make it interesting. But I think if there is a major danger to Who Knows, it's probably Aguirre or Crouch if it was at its best. Look, I've got a sneaking suspicion that Sailor Jack might lead off the front and be pretty tough to pick up as well. But yeah, flying, there's no doubt. And I thought that was career best last start from Aguirre.
You can see why he's right in the market. Are you leaning with one of your favourites though, Who Knows, Sweens?
Well, I wasn't with Who Knows, and then I put a bit more thought into it over the last 24 hours and thought, well, if Wolfgang's going down, then it sort of sets the market and allows everyone that's going that way to get involved now. Who Knows, she's so honest. That she'll be there or abouts. You don't see much from her at the trials, is what we saw at Foxton. She was sort of nice enough, but look, I expect her to be pretty tough to beat on Saturday. So I'll go with Who Knows. Everyone knows that I do love the mare.
Yeah, the mere fact that you guys are actually considering that they might not be trying to win this race says something about that getting a penalty. There's horses like Dangereux who need a penalty to get into a New Zealand Cup. So if you're going to have a penalty-free a race that gives you there without any extra weight, then you've got to have automatic exemption as well. You can't be winning this race, such as Dangereux, and still being on 72 rating points. You need to be able to have automatic entry into the race as well to get that right mix. I'm going with Who Knows. I don't think the weight in the New Zealand Cup's an issue. They can go around in the New Zealand Cup and carry 60 without walking in there.
Certainly wasn't suggesting anything like that, Aidan, but look, Who Knows? She's a very good mare, as we know, 58.5 kilos. She's going to be giving them a bit of a head start. I thought Battle Secret, third up, nice gate, good each way odds, $9 and $2.70.
Okay, that's what everybody's liking in the Fielding Cup, and a real discussion as we move now to the other feature on the program, the Red Craze Bowl here. And you can see Maratori Molly, she's your favourite, $3.70 from Bedtime Story, who's a joint with her, and then you've got Blissful Bell and Turn the Ace. But they've got the market right here, Sweens.
They have, and just going back to Aidan's comments there's a real skill to getting a horse to the right race at the right weight. And that's what grand final trainers do. So suggesting that people are not trying is not correct. They're training their horse to get it to the right race at the right weight at the right moment. And he knows that. And Alan Sherrick and all these great trainers have done it over many years. Let's talk about Tauherenikau and this particular sprint and Maratori Molly and Bedtime Story, the top two horses in the market, and they deserve to be. Bedtime Story is great, fresh up. Maratori Molly is certainly going the right way to hit the big features in the summer. But she's a very good mare, this Leith, Bedtime Story. She's very competitive. She'll get enough cut in the track on Saturday to be right there from the hop. And look, I can't see her missing a place.
No, exactly. Look, her second up record's is good as well. She's won 1 second and a win. First up record was she hasn't won before, so her run was good. She'll be peaking second up. From barrier 3, only 57 kilos. She looks awfully hard to beat.
His second up record's good for a mare who's got such a consistent record. I think she'll bounce out of that. Really hard to beat here, but it's a competitive enough race.
It really is, and so is this race here at Trentham. Well, we have 3 of the runners come out of it, including Durham Lad, Maratori Molly and Kopua. Just quickly on Maratori Molly, she's obviously the favourite. How did you assess this race?
She looked like she just sort of, I know she likes a sort of heavy track, but she just didn't look comfortable on this one. Maybe she just blew out a little bit as well. Obviously, Tony Davies gets on this week. She still gets 60 kilos though. Can she win the race? Maybe. But I just thought at the weights, Bedtime Story was probably a better bet this Saturday.
Well, look, Spencer was so well favoured in the race that Look, his performance was a little bit of a head scratcher as well, wasn't it? I thought she was good late. I think Matt's got her right on target to be very, very hard to beat in those summer features, but wouldn't be counting her out, even with the weight that she has got on Saturday. As we know, she's a Group 1 quality mare. Matt's team is flying at the present moment, and I think he's got her on the right sort of path to be very competitive when the big Group 1s are about.
Yeah, she's going really well. She does come in 2.5 kilograms worse than Copper in that race, but third up, she's got those 2 runs under her belt. We know her quality, like you say, Bevan. She is a really good horse in the race. And like you say, they're 2 key contenders in the race. I went outside the pair of them, though, Bedtime Story and Maratiri Molly. I've gone Blissful Bell on top. I thought the first up run at Taupo was huge. Just against the pattern of that race, made very good ground on a day where you had to be up, you had to be drawn in an inside 6 gate. Thought Bold Bell's effort, even though it was drawn 1 after getting back, was terrific. And she was a mare I wanted to be on after seeing that run wherever she went next, and I think she's beautifully placed in this from the minimum.
Yeah, look, I'm on Bedtime Story. I thought she was one of the better bets of the week from Barrier 3. She sits there just behind the speed, and she definitely can win.
And she is a winner at Tauherenikau in her time as well. So I'll go Bedtime Story as well. I think the map suits her perfectly. Fresh up, very good. I think they would have cleaned her up. Tricky conditions should be right on the mark for her. She's tough to beat.
Okay, guys, a little bit split in that race, and then we need something else to follow on the program. Leith, who have you got?
Look, I'm going to go early. Pip, French style race 4. Mike Breslin's horse is flying at the moment. She's going to be another one gated by a good gate.
Geez, I hope I haven't got in the same race as you again, Leith. I have. So we're going head-to-head again. I've gone with Thuza, whose first up run for second was terrific. I thought a horse who would bounce out of that, Tony Pike on the road. You like all those sort of factors. So, geez, we're going head-to-head again, Leith. Thuza for me.
Maybe whoever wins a head-to-head gets the next trip to Melbourne. I'm going with Latest Model. This horse should have won its last 2 starts. It got back on a leader-dominated day at Waverley on the 28th. It was 3 wide the trip the other day and behind Smart Road, and had the audacity to be beaten inside half a length. So Latest Model for me with a couple of kilos off should be very, very competitive.
All right, noting that one down, and we're taking now a break. That completes our look out of our domestic action. We'll be concentrating in on the Melbourne Cup Carnival off the other side. Welcome back into the forum. We've got more trialists for you to follow. Leith, who have you had the binos on this time?
Look, Ellerslie last week, Pip, she's a dealer. Obviously, she had her last race in the Queensland Oaks. Look, she's come back as a 4-year-old mare now. She's big and strong. She doesn't have to improve too much, and she doesn't have to wait too long either to go to Ellerslie on Melbourne Cup Day, rating 75, 1400 metres. She'll be at nice, juicy odds, but she'll be hitting the line late.
I went to Pukekohe on Wednesday, giving Thad Taylor a little bit more fodder. I actually haven't seen this trial yet. I just saw the winning margin and I wanted to see it myself. Just hadn't had a chance to get through much trials form, boys. So I'm Unstoppable, a horse who was so good in the Cambridge Breeders' Stakes, going back a little bit. Obviously comes back in really good order in a group enlisted trial. So a nice run, and maybe you guys might be able to pick out something in behind that you like as well going forward.
Certainly tried well. What about Bell's Bow? This is a horse out wide in Eddie's colours for Robbie Patterson. Wasn't a lot of trials on the day, but I wish the horse would put its head down and run straight as a die. But it was a reasonable sort of trial field, and it beats them very easily, and I think pretty competitive wherever it goes.
There you go, those are our trial files. So here they are if you want to note them down. As you said, Leith's following his one nice and quickly too. She's a dealer for the James Wellwood stable. I'm Unstoppable for Aidan, and Bell's Bow for Bevan. From there, we're going to get back to you, Aidan Rodley, because it's Derby Day on Saturday. What track will we be betting into?
I think the word is that we'll probably be in that good range, even with a bit of rain coming here tomorrow. I don't think they'll be watering today. I would have thought we would have seen a little bit of watering going on this morning had that been the case. But this track's in sublime water, as always. Spoke to Liam O'Keefe the other morning here at Flemington. He's really happy with the way it's come together. Obviously, they do have 4 days of a carnival to get through, but yeah, I think we'll be nigh on perfect conditions. Just that rain should have it in the exact right zone, Pip.
Yeah, that's what we want to hear. It looks nice and sunny there at the moment as we take a look at the first of the 3 Group 1s on the program, the Coolmore Stud Stakes here, where we've got our favourite for the 3-year-olds and Bivakta here up the top at $3.80, drifting out from $3.20. Also as well, another drifter is Tentrish. You've got $3.80 out to $4. Movement around Beedman here, Leith, $6 into 5s, and obviously Raging Force, a big mover.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go for Beedman in the race. Obviously had a nice quiet trial down the chute there a couple of weeks ago, 10 days ago. He was desperately unlucky last start, and if Blake Shin, he's riding super at the moment, can be winning.
There's a Coolmore with a bit of depth. It was a really nice jump out here last Friday. They just opened up the track for 800-metre jump outs down the straight at Flemington for those horses who were going to be going to a Coolmore. In behind them, Baywak was never really tested. Chris Waller Moore just about giving the Golden Rose winner a look down the Flemington track. He said it was the same with Merchant Navy. He hadn't given that horse a run down the straight before he won the Coolmore. So Baywak on top for me. I thought his Golden Rose win was full of merit. He's got tactical speed. But in what looks to be a really tactical race, I think he will look for cover and then be produced for what should be a really competitive performance.
I agree with Leith. Beedman's very talented. I don't think there's all favours in the first 2 runs. I think peaking third up, Blake Shin flying at the present moment. I think the gate will probably be an assist towards Beedman, so pretty happy to shop the 6 on opening into 5.
Okay, from there, the Coolmore, we're going to take a look now at race number 7, the Victorian Derby, and see how the market is shaping up. Observer favourite at $2.15 clearly from Providence, $5.50 just pushing out to 6s, and then everything else at double figures, including Autumn Mystery on that third line, 16s into 12s. Let's take you back to the key lead in here. Winning at the Valley, of course, was the Observer. It beats a handful of rivals here. Aidan, how did you assess it?
Oh, it was a brilliant win in the Vars, no question. It was a really confident Mark Zara ride. He was looking at the infield screen and saw it as well clear and eased this horse down, about 75 metres from the line. Obviously, the second horse, Providence, has got home really nicely, but there was so much more in hand for Observer, and on that, I think he is the horse to beat.
Look, that was a super impressive performance. We're running at a completely different racetrack, which you wouldn't want to be in front that far out or that far extended in the Derby. But look, to be honest with you, I wasn't really convinced anyway on this, but I thought that was the best performance in recent times. I think it made Providence look a little bit better than possibly they should have. So I'll go with Observer, although I'm not touching 210.
Yeah, 2,500 metres, 210's a bit short. I know Mark Zara, he might have just got a little bit nervous that last 2 sort of 3 metres when Providence was flying down the outside, and I think Providence, Craig Williams on 2,500 metres, the Wooden Bassett Colt be winning this week.
Okay, so there you go. And then what about the horse that is on the race form cover, of course, for Mark Walker, Aziz Al? Do you give this runner a chance? Obviously won the Geelong Classic.
Yeah, he was, look, super last time. Got the breeding there, a little bit of a Kiwi connection, Michael Dion as well. And look, 2,500 metres will definitely suit. Yeah, by shocking there. So selection-wise, who are you with? Yeah, Providence, Pip. There's a little bit of timing about him. Chris Waller, what do you say? $6.50, great each way chance. Okay, from there we're going to take you to the Empire Rose now, the third Group 1 on the program. Fangirl favourite, $3.90. Again, drifting though, out to $3.30. You can see a couple of them around that $6, including Like a Lucy as well. One of the Kiwis in the race, and she was in the 2-rack last start. What did you make of her run? Yeah, she was good. Look, she got out wide. She wasn't really suited on this track. I think big roomy track like Flemington's really going to suit her. You see Damask Rose there, she just never got to run the whole way up the straight. She probably arguably may have won the race. Good form out of it. The winners come out and won last week in Sydney as well.
Oh, I agree, Leith. She'd have been right in the mix had she got clear running. And it's only really about now when she does get that clear room late. Interesting, the jockey change, isn't it? Jamie Mellon, who was aboard last time out, goes to a Bounding, who Blake Shin was aboard. Blake Shin winning that race, the Tristark last time out, but he's hopped off a Bounding to ride Damask Rose. We saw her at Tiako's Crampton stable yesterday, and she's glowing. They're really happy with her. I think she's a big factor in this Empire Rose.
I agree that I think the two Kiwis are a mess. I don't think there's a more unlucky horse at the present moment in Australia than Damask Rose. She's had absolutely none in her first 3 runs. I thought she was really unlucky last. I thought she was massive fresh up. I think she's peaking fourth up into this. If she gets any sort of luck, I think Damask Rose can win this race and win quite nicely.
Yeah, certainly if they both race in New Zealand, Damask Rose would be probably a $2 favourite to Like a Lucy. Look, I'm just going the Chris Waller, and look, there's not much between it. Mark Zara, Chris Waller, Like a Lucy this week.
Yeah, she's been terrific, hasn't she? And she was really good in that Empire Rose as well. She worked really nicely here on Tuesday, Like a Lucy. However, I've gone with the other Kiwi. I'm going with Damask Rose.
Either way you go, the Kiwis getting behind them at Flemington this weekend, and there's plenty of meetings to back into, so we're trying to build you a kitty. Leith, who's your bank builder this week?
Bank builder this week, Pip. Look, it's a pretty hard one. I'm going to go Kitty Flash at Tauranga early.
Okay.
Oak Steel, sorry, Pip. Oak Steel on Ashburton Friday, race 2.
We've got two from Leith.
Not the first time that's happened. The old days we were able to edit those ones out, but I've gone to the first, the Carbine Club Stakes here at Flemington Saturday. I thought Vinrock was terrific in that Caulfield Guineas. It's the right form line leading in. I can't believe the horse is second favourite currently. Mark Zara for Matt Laurie. Vinrock for me in the opener I thought was a really nice price.
Stick with me, people. Thrilling in race number 2. Very good last start behind a nice horse, Girl Talk, who's come out and backed that up at Trentham on Saturday, winning again. I want to see her past the mile, and she's got to get the job done shortly, but I think she's a decent sort of each-way chance in race 2 at Tauherenikau.
I like it. Nice and early plays over the weekend as we take you to a break. Our best bets are coming up off the other side.
I like a filly, Belle Chevelle, that's stepping out at Ellerslie in one of the maiden races there. She's going the right way.
But it's Belle Chevelle in front. The money was right on the lolly. They backed it off the board for a reason. Belle Chevelle bolted in.
Look, really excited about Master Fay.
And Master Fay strode to the lead. Hitterbell's coming after it in turn. It's Master Fay in front from Hitterbell, Celestial Wonder and Part-Time Lover. But Master Fay fresh up.
Yeah, definitely the Odyssey.
The Odyssey out wide's coming after Livid Sky. Giacomo, Meaningful Star. The Odyssey, he's got the lead with 100 metres to go. Livid Sky late, but the Odyssey second up. That's a big win.
I'm going to stick with the favourite in race 3, Out of the Blue. Very good on debut at Riccarton. 2-length winner that day. Opie Bosson goes on.
Out of the Blue in front, not necessarily getting clear about that girl though. Out of the Blue's doing enough, and Out of the Blue's going to win it.
Haven't struck with this for a little while. I'm going to stick with Hinikaha at Ellerslie.
And I'm taking you to Ellerslie. The last race on the program, Hinikaha second up for Andrew Forsman, steps up to the 1400 metres.
Hinikaha just in front. Domain Ace. Leroy Brown won't go away. And out wide, Moxie's running on. Hinikaha in front. Leroy Brown's trying to get it again, but Hinikaha wins the last.
And once again, a really nice week, especially for the trainers, Leith. I think we just got to keep following them.
Yeah, the trainers are going well, Pip. Certainly are. Good
that
picking
one with
by
Sam
all.
Burgessen's opened up at a big price there too.
Yeah, they opened it at $18, and look, I think it's Belle Chevelle's third favourite for the 1,000 guineas now, and it sounds like she's going that way as well.
Okay, well, let's see if they can find us some more. Let's have a look what the trainers are liking this week.
Look, if we can get Hostility to the South Island race 3 at Ashburton, he should be very competitive. Or He Who Dares in the Sarten Memorial, we think it's going really well.
I've got a few runners and they're all chances, obviously, but possibly the best chance is Curzon Park. We'll try again with him. It was my best chance last week, but we never got to the races. So hopefully he's a lovely horse and he can gallop.
Managed to bounce back last weekend. I'm going to go with Kitty Flash this weekend.
We've got Anton running in the 75 1200, nice and fresh. So yeah, he's an honest horse, so we expect a nice run.
Probably Lavakia, Brennan, in Tauranga. She missed a run at Te Rapa, but she's been working up good, so she's probably the best one.
Going to go for a bit of value actually this time and give the punters Inside Out fresh up at Tauranga, 65 1400. I think he'll be pretty hard to beat.
We're looking at Moss Invader. We think he's going to go a blinder fresh up, and he should be in for a big season.
I'm going to say Romanov could be quite cheeky.
The Prophet. He's obviously ran a big race a couple of weeks ago at Ellerslie, and he's trained on well. Up to 2,000 metres will be perfect for him. So, yeah, fingers crossed for a bit of luck because he's due some.
I would say if it gets really wet at Tauranga, Muscovado will go quite a nice race.
I've been a bit in and out on these tips, but we'll go Queen Zoo on Saturday, 75 mile.
I'd have to go Call Me Johnny in the 75 mile at Tauranga.
Look, it's a long way from Te Rapa, but I think Thusa, we're going to take her down to Tauherenikau on Saturday for the 75 1,300 metre race. I thought she would have gone close at Te Rapa on Monday, so I think she's clearly my best for the weekend.
Oh, look, I'd have to go Melbourne Cup Day, Maiden Mile, Follow Your Money, La Florida.
There you go. So he's giving us one for Tuesday there, Shane Crawford. Don't mind that. And Leith, there's a few that we've already talked about in the show, including a few bank builders, etc. that are on there.
Yeah, certainly. I think we'll be going through the show next week, and I think there might be a good 4 or 5 winners out of it.
Yeah, and one that you like, Sweens, is the Prophet. Cody Cole throwing it out. Is that in your betting strategy this week? Because it's your turn up against the leg up very own Paul Moati.
Yep, yeah, it is. It is definitely in my punting strategy. I just wonder if the producer's going to take the opening quote when I sent it to him yesterday, or take the deductions out and everything that goes with that. I'm definitely with the Prophet, though. I think he's tough to beat up against one of the greats, and Paul Moati. 3-1 to us. Not my part. I'm the 1. You're the 3. 1378 to 718 against us. This is what I'm going to do. I thought about doing it simple Simon and putting 100 to win on the Prophet, but thought that'd be boring at home for the people. So we add a little value to that. I think bedtime story is about $1.65, $1.70. So it'll add a little bit to that. I'll go 50 Māori Prophet win, a bedtime story, and a $50 multi, all top 3 latest model, bedtime story. And you can't leave your own horse out. Pukawa, he's around about $3. He runs in the last, so we'll take a $50 place multi round 3, around those 3 pip, and hopefully I'll get one on the board on the right side of the ledger.
Yeah, I like that. Swinging for the fences there too, that $50 multi up the top. Might have to take that myself as we have a look at our best bets this week. Lethal, you're always up first. Who are you with this time?
I'd give Aidan Rodley a best bet. I'll give him a free tip. Sunblock in Melbourne. You're getting a bit red over there. Look, I'm going to go Kitty Flash on Saturday at Tauranga Pip. Look, I think she'll be winning $4.20, barrier 6. Craig Girl's on. She's trialled up like a weapon, and around Tauranga, I think she'll be awfully hard to beat.
Geez, we were undercover too, Leith. We had to move out because we wanted a nicer picture in the background. So, yeah, I'm going to go to Ashburton. I know Hostility has been a little bit disappointing in the last couple, but a horse who's got Group 1 form against what is a moderate field at best. I know that you're getting a pretty short price, but race 3, Ashburton, Hostility. He's got to bounce back if he's going to be any chance on a 2,000 guineas, but this is on a plate for him.
No surprise here. The Prophet at Tauranga in race number 9 on the program. The 850 was crazy. I'll go with the Prophet. Massively unlucky last start. Gee, I remember he cleaned them up at Trentham one day over ground, so he just needs some luck. He's had none the first couple of starts. He's peaking into this over 2,000 metres and tough to beat, albeit in the open handicap.
And I'm taking you to Tauranga in the Open 13, actually. Glamour Tycoon, I just think she's drawn beautifully to get the lead there, and I'd just be too good for them for Stephen Marsh. So I'll take her. Nice field, but she's a very nice horse. Those are our best bets for the week, and fingers crossed we've found you plenty of winners here, as you can see. There's our 4. We've also got the Whale kicking us off at Alexandra Park on Friday Night Lights. So race number 3 there, Cyclone Rebel. So make sure you follow the Whale in, and hopefully sets us up for what is a really good week. Aidan, we'll let you go and get a hat, maybe get out of that sunshine. What race are you looking forward to the most on Saturday?
The Derby for sure. Engine of War, we've got a little share in as well, so I'd love to see that. But also Willie Do It in the Golden Eagle. I think he can topple the favourite, Autumn Glow. I know Autumn Glow's the big talk up there. And just going back to what Sween said, just imagine letting Leith Innes loose in Melbourne. You'd be hoping that he loses that chocolate fish.
You certainly would be. Thanks, team. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. Good luck to everybody with runners in this weekend. We'll catch you back next week.